In a grocery store, it is very important that floors are kept clean, dry, and free of clutter. This helps prevent slips, trips, and falls. Since no one person can be everywhere at all times, it is every employee's responsibility to keep an eye out for slip and trip hazards throughout the store. Let's discuss some of the steps that can be taken to prevent slips, trips, and falls. One of the easiest ways to help prevent slips, trips, and falls is to make sure all floors remain clean, dry, and free of clutter. Any employee that sees anything on the floor that does not belong should immediately clean it up. This includes trash, produce, water, food, or anything else that could cause an employee or customer to slip or trip. It is never okay to leave a foreign object on the floor for any length of time. This includes the sales floor, food prep areas, and the break room. Never leave empty pallets, standing or lying flat, on the sales floor or sidewalks. Product displays and shelves should be stocked in a manner where products cannot easily fall or cause customers or employees to trip. For example, when a product display is sold down and the pallet corners are exposed, the pallet needs to be removed from the sales floor or the product needs to be restocked. Always use wet floor cones when the floor gets wet for any reason. Wet floor cones should also be visible at the store entrance when it is raining or snowing. Liquids on the floor should be immediately cleaned up, even if there are only a few drops. Employees should immediately report any leaky equipment or refrigeration. Leaks should be cleaned up as soon as possible. Absorbent socks or paper towel rolls can be used to soak up the liquids until repairs can be made. Anytime an employee sees a spill or leak, or if a spill or leak is reported, the employee should immediately go to the spill and guard it to prevent customers or other employees from walking through the spilled substance. Try to get another employee's attention to assist with the spill. One employee should guard the spill while the other employee retrieves proper cleaning supplies. If another employee is not available, place a wet floor cone directly next to the spill and then proceed to retrieve cleaning supplies. Most liquid spills should be cleaned with a product called Spill Magic. Spill Magic is an absorbent powder that is kept in spill response stations conveniently located around the store. If towels or a mop must be used to clean a spill, be sure to place wet floor cones around the perimeter of any damp or wet area to warn others. Individuals are more likely to avoid a wet area or walk carefully if they know the floor is wet. All employees should know the location of spill response stations and know how to use them. The station should be kept fully stocked with all required components. This includes Spill Magic powder, a broom head with a handle, a dustpan, trash bags, and pop-up floor cones. Floor mats should remain in their designated locations throughout the day and should be kept in good repair. They should remain in the following locations when a store is open for business. In front of the indoor ice merchandiser, where floor mats can help catch any ice that might fall onto the floor when bags of ice are taken from the merchandiser or while it is being stocked. In front of the chicken counter, where they help catch any liquid that might leak from packages of chicken when removed from the case. In front of the watered produce area, to help catch any overspray when produce is watered. Also, floor mats are used to catch pieces of produce that shoppers may drop on the floor. In the area where grapes are sold, they help catch loose grapes that shoppers may drop. Remember, bags of grapes should be sealed when stocked and monitored throughout the day. They are also used in front of your egg merchandiser to catch dropped eggs. In front of the deli fountain drink machine and beverage stations, floor mats are used to catch any ice or liquids that shoppers may drop or spill on the floor. When placed at all department entrances, they help keep employees from tracking water, grease, blood, or other slippery substances from prep areas onto the sales floor. Floor mats should be placed in the front entrance. When raining or snowing outside, they will help prevent customers and employees from tracking water and moisture onto the floor. They can also be placed with other special displays as needed. Anytime a display is constructed that has the potential for shoppers to drop ice or other slippery substances onto the sales floor, a floor mat should be used. As mentioned previously, it is every employee's responsibility to continually be on the lookout for slip and trip hazards, including spills and liquids on the sales floor, and to take immediate action if there are any observed or reported. It takes the entire team working together to provide a safe environment for our customers to shop and our employees to work. To decrease the likelihood of an injury occurring while working in a freezer or cooler, the following guidelines should be followed. Let's take a look. Products should be kept neat, orderly, and easily accessible. You should consider labeling racks as this improves efficiency, especially for new employees or for those that are not familiar with the freezer or cooler. The heavier items should be stacked on lower levels of storage racks, and lighter items should be stacked overhead. Don't stack items higher than necessary, as reaching above shoulder height puts additional strain on shoulders, especially with heavy items. Stock levels should be kept to a minimum because additional stock increases clutter and the chance for injury. Floors should remain clean and free of debris. Ice cleats should be worn by all employees while working inside the walk-in freezer. And busted bags of ice should be cleaned up immediately. Ice buildup on floors should be removed by store employees. Remember to submit a work order if buildup is excessive. If you need to use a ladder or step stool inside the cooler or freezer, please make sure the legs rest on a level surface and the ladder is steady. Always make sure the ladder is secured and stable. You should not allow dirt or ice to accumulate on step stools or ladders. Be sure to remove and clean as necessary. Before you go into the walk-in cooler or freezer, make sure the emergency door release is working properly. Always tell another employee that you are going into the walk-in cooler or freezer and that if you do not return within a few minutes, the employee should come find you. We use ladders and step stools for a variety of reasons. Misuse of ladders or step stools can lead to serious injuries from falls and even death. Falling from a ladder can lead to broken bones, head injuries, and other serious life-threatening injuries. Did you know that falls from ladders and step stools are one of the leading causes of occupational fatalities and injuries? These injuries and deaths from ladder falls are preventable, and lives can be saved by following the safe work practices described in this training. First, let's begin with ladder safety. Before using a step ladder, always inspect to make sure it is safe to use. Be sure to inspect the rubber feet, spreaders, and steps for damage or defects. If no damage is observed, check to make sure the ladder is stable and not wobbly. If the ladder does not pass inspection or appears unsafe in any way, tag it as "Do Not Use" and inform a manager or supervisor. He or she should remove the ladder from service and submit a work order describing the problem. Always check the maximum intended load and do not exceed this limit. This includes the total load of the employee and all tools, equipment, and materials being carried. If dirt, oil, or food scraps are present on the ladder steps, be sure to clean prior to using. Before climbing onto the ladder, or if used on slippery surfaces, make sure that the legs rest on a level surface and the ladder is steady, and always make sure that the ladder is secured and stable. When possible, use both hands when going up or coming down a ladder. Use at least one hand to grasp the ladder and always maintain 3 points of contact. That's 2 hands and a foot or 2 feet and a hand. Employees should never carry any object or load that could cause them to lose balance and fall while climbing up or down a ladder. If supplies are needed, have another employee hand the items up to you. Likewise, if you need to retrieve supplies from a shelf or other surface, hand the items down to another employee. Never stand on the top 2 steps, top rung, or very top platform of a step ladder. When working on a ladder, always face the ladder. Never turn to the side or face backwards. Keep your body near the middle of the step and do not overextend. Get down and move the ladder if you cannot easily reach the task at hand. If you must use a ladder near a door, have another employee stand guard. Do not place ladders on boxes, barrels, or other unstable bases to obtain additional height. Remember, the proper angle for setting up a ladder is to place its base quarter of the working length of the ladder from the wall or other vertical surface, and always use caution when moving a ladder. Remember to think about what's around the corner or what's on the other side. And don't forget overhead hazards such as display, lights, or sprinkler heads. You should never climb from a stepladder to another surface above ground level. And finally, only Brookshire Brothers approved ladders are to be used. Now let's take a quick look at step stool safety. Before using a step stool, always inspect it for damage and make sure it is not wobbly. If a step stool does not pass inspection, it should be discarded and a replacement ordered. If dirt, oil, or food scraps are present on the steps, be sure to clean before using and make sure the legs rest on a level surface. Always use a step stool that is tall enough for the job and avoid overreaching. If necessary, get down and move the stool closer to the item you are trying to reach. Finally, do not stand on milk crates, chairs, shelving units, or other items not designed to be used as a step stool. Remember, only Brookshire Brothers approved step stools are to be used.